Hi, my name is Linny, and this time we are going to talk about what the heck happened at the Evergreen State College, or in YouTuber language, spilling the tea on the Evergreen State College. Basically, when people try to come forward about exactly this story, which is why it's now a vlog, I was actually going to make a documentary about this story, but I didn't want to put anybody in danger because people literally got doxxed, they got harassed, they got death threats. I just want to tell the truth from my own personal point of view. So I am just going to come forward as me, myself, Linny D, and tell you. So if you're wondering, I went to the Evergreen State College and finally got my freaking diploma. So that's finally here. I'm done. Anyways, now that I am free, I decided I wanted to sit down and talk about what happened in 2017 because, oh boy, it was a nightmare. And because it was a nightmare, I brought actual tea for spilling the tea. So I wanted to start with a disclaimer, which is that this video is my story. It's not anybody else's. It's my personal experience while I was at the school. Since I cannot be everywhere at once, I don't have every single piece of information for what happened, but this is a real story as opposed to what's been circulating through things like Fox News. So for starters, they call it the riots, at least around here and at my school, but it wasn't actually a riot. What actually happened was a series, let's say, of protests. I don't remember the date. I'll have to edit it in on a subtitle around here. I was sitting in class and we were practicing our acting, and we were workshopping some scenes with, I think, Oedipus, I want to say. We were, doing some scenes with some Greek plays. And someone runs by our door and she says, "There's a big protest happening outside on Red Square," which is the main gathering area in our ground. And so our teacher basically said, "This does seem like something important that we should go to, so I'm going to let class out early, and we're going to go to this protest." So, like everyone else in my class that I know of, I joined in and went to the protest. And so it was happening on Red Square, and then some of it was happening up in our library building. And so this particular protest was about the treatment of Black and brown students on campus, specifically about campus police racially profiling these students and literally following them home as if they were like up to something and not just walking home from a night class. There is an event known as the Day of Absence and the Day of Presence that happens on campus. This has been an event that's happened since the 1970s. But there was one change this year. And so on the Day of Absence, the white students split up from the students of color. So then the white students in their group will discuss from their own point of view what's happening with people of color in their communities and like how they've experienced or witnessed this. And then in another place, the students of color will talk about the kind of things that are happening in their communities and outside of their communities that affect them. So that's how that day is spent of the workshop. And then the second day, the students of color and the white students come together, and then they talk about what was discussed at their gatherings, and then they talk about ways that they can try to solve these problems. And the only thing that changed is normally the students of color leave campus. But because of what happened at that previous protest, the school said that in solidarity with the students of color, they would be asking that the white students leave campus. So, the Evergreen Clusterfucks. Basically, after the school put out this statement saying that they were going to have the white students leave, people got the wrong idea. And this was largely because of, you guessed it, Fox News. Yeah! Sorry if you watch Fox News, but honestly, kind of not sorry because that's not accurate news. Anyways, so in comes a teacher known as Brett Weinstein, and this is where things turned into a clusterfuck. Brett Weinstein wrote an email, and it's been circulating the internet for a really long time now, essentially saying that he disagreed with the school's choice to make white students leave. Okay, so now we're getting to the part where I actually had to leave the protest because I had work that day, so I left. But I then caught up with the rest of what happened from other students. After I left, apparently, they called the police on this protest. And they had a line of like white students, and they were there to kind of be like a buffer for if things did get violent or something broke out. And basically, they called the cops, and this was considered a pretty inflammatory action, given that this was a protest about campus police and how they are treating Black students. But like, then calling actual police, which a lot of people already weren't trusting, is a very intense maneuver that was very short-sighted and definitely wasn't necessary. So the campus police came, and the white student buffer remained, and then the students of color retreated into the diversity lounge. And I think that generally was the end of the protest, and I don't think anything happened after that. He decided that because he didn't like the way he was being treated, he was going to go public about the way the school he was treated, because he was upset with what was happening. And so he got on Fox News. They decided to tell people that all white students were banned from campus.
This year, student activists demanded that all white people leave campus or else.
This is not accurate. Any of the students who were leaving campus, who were white, volunteered, signed up, reserved a seat, and left. This was entirely planned event that needed a head count. And things snowballed from there. Since Fox News is a national network, a lot of things happened. People all over the country saw it. Ultimately, we got death threats. Yeah. Our campus was closed for literally a week because a man who apparently turned out to have been living in New Jersey said that he was going to shoot us. Essentially, Evergreen's messed up, incorrect, bad, whatever reputation, and these stories have remained. And so even though it's considerably calmed down since then, there's a lot of lying going around, and I wanted to clear this up. I'm not here to advocate for the school because I'm quite upset with them personally for both how they handled this and for how they just recently have been handling my degree. This video is just to clear the air, spill the tea, and maybe clean up some of these lies. This video was not that much fun this week. I know. It kind of sucks, but at least it's a double feature because I also put out a Let's Play. Anyways, I'm hoping to do a lot more fun, entertaining videos in the future. So as usual, leave a comment if you have any ideas for what I can do for these weekly videos, and I'll see you in the next video.